Welcome to Orphans, the American Dream. I think I don't have a normal tagline. I think I do something different every time. The RPG where you all play yourselves, and a post-apocalyptic RPG where I can explore your real life psyche by throwing things at your fake characters and having you have to make extremely morally gray decisions, which then expose your real life person. And no, I'm just
I'm concerned about
suddenly
David.
very uncomfortable with the direction that went.
I see where this is
you're
going.
all part of a psychological experiment, and you just not sign a contract.
I did not consent to this.
Yep. We are actually playing A Penny for My Thoughts in real life.
No, so we're playing Fate Core. We're doing a post-apocalyptic setting after a nuclear apocalypse, and everybody is playing themselves as if they're in a nuclear apocalypse. So last we left off, we had everybody being jumped by a group of people in probably the biggest city you guys have come to since the apocalypse happened, or I guess since we started playing Orphans, but probably the biggest city you guys have come to in your journey. And lots of dead people. Josh got like a 7 on an investigate roll, and figured out exactly what happened in this city. And so it was this big city, and lots of people gathered to it because everybody had opposing viewpoints, and there were squabbles and whatnot. Basically, everybody just killed each other, and so it became this big, where you would expect to find lots of people, and instead you found even less people because there were so many people there. And then you guys all got jumped by some remaining survivors in this city. And that's where we left off. But Jared, you said that you wanted to start off with a little intro scene for us.
Because I definitely didn't forget to do that last week. So we cut to a scene where we're all on the bus about to arrive to the town, and we cut to Jared's corner of the bus, I guess.
His seat.
Mm-hmm. His seat. And you see you see his little cubby. And then you see two shattered katanas from his previous life and his old combat armor from when he was a mercenary. And next to it, he places his the little top hat from Charlie. Just places it on the shelf next to all of his other stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Whoa! I don't know why my mic is doing that. I'd like to think that this is basically the overhead compartments on airplanes, right? You pull it down and it's just all your little stuff is in there.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. Okay, so we get that little scene, and we'll when we do the TV version of this, right? We'll tack that on at the end of the last episode. So we open up then with a flashback, and I think we get the shot of the city, a big city, right? And there's some fires that have been set, and you can kind of hear some gunfire in the distance, that kind of a thing. And the music kind of ramps up, and then we cut to a different scene, and you just see this man and this woman, and they're packing their stuff, and it's quiet now, and the couple are kind of talking. The man says, Rachel, make sure you grab the canned food, and Rachel's like, I already have it, and they're both frantically packing stuff up and putting stuff in their bags and slinging it over their shoulders and everything. And then we hear a baby cry, and they both look at each other, and I think the woman Rachel, she turns away and kind of walks into the other room, and the man walks into a room. He like opens up the door and like walks in, and it's you see this crib, and there's a little baby in it, and he goes over and he picks up this baby and says like, "I'm so sorry, honey, my beautiful daughter." He like wipes a tear from his eyes, and he says, "I'm so sorry, Liza. Please forgive me." And he like takes the baby and like walks over to Rachel, and Rachel says, "No, Hugh, I can't." And Hugh says, "You need to say goodbye." And Rachel kind of like goes over and like puts a hand on the baby's head and says, like just kind of sputters and can't say anything, and then just like turns away again and walks away. And then we see this baby just in the street by herself, and I think it starts to rain, and we see and the parents are gone, and we see this group of people come up when they're all like armed and that type of thing, and this woman in particular comes over and like picks up the baby and like turns to the other people around her and is just like, "Did somebody just..." and just like, how could so many people be so evil? This was supposed to be civilization. And she just kind of like looks around. I think she like tries calling out, like, "Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Is this your baby?" And we kind of like zoom up into the clouds with the rain, and then I think we like cut in to present day of like a close up on this little girl's eyes that David, you had just thrown her off your back because she had pounced on you and had a knife to your throat, and we see her just go toward you, which is what we had last time.
Whoa. Listen, everyone needs to just calm down. We're just scavenging for supplies. You don't want any trouble. And I look pointedly at David.
David looks pointedly at Josh.
Josh sets down the shovel.
So I think...
who else did you say was there besides the gal? It's like some armed people came in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just so yeah, some like just ruffians, right? I mean, they look like they're just
survivors.
They're survivors, right? And you know, they've got various weapons. Some got pistols, some got rifles and whatnot. But they're all pointing them at you. Not you in particular, Caleb, but like everybody. Yeah.
Well, I take it personally, so.
Oh yeah, well.
As you should.
But that's what I said. So.
So I think if we want to have kind of a fun scene here, we can. So if you guys
that'd be
want
good
to,
as opposed to a boring scene, I guess.
Oh no, okay, all right. Let me just
not murder scene.
Yeah, let me just have something happen. With your guys' permission. Let me just do something just for fun. So I think we get this scene where a woman walks down the steps, and probably one of the soldiers probably is like, I'm trying to come up with names all on the spot. I think we'll do
Pop
Lynn.
up in a name generator.
I did. I think we'll do Lynn.
I mean, Lynn is the gal that we're with.
Yeah. What's that?
There's
Lynn
already
is
a
the
Lynn.
punchy gal.
Oh shoot! You're so right. I thought
No
that
punch.
name sounded familiar. All right, even better, Helen.
If this was real life, her name would be Lynn, and it would be really confusing. But we don't want to do that, so.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So we get this scene then. So the soldier says, like, Helen, it's safe. You can come on down. And we get this scene with this lady, and she comes down, and she's got like long brown hair, and she's got like spectacles. And
comes down
like some stairs.
So where are we again?
You guys were in a building.
Yeah, I thought we were like a warehouse or something, right?
Well, we didn't establish what kind of building. So in this building, there are stairs. That's what we're establishing.
I mean, there could be a warehouse with stairs. It would just be, I'm just trying to get a picture in my mind. Like it would be opposed to like metal stairs on the side of a warehouse versus.
Okay, yeah. So
right.
If you want to get a picture of the scene, this is kind of like a lab building.
Got it.
The room you guys are
it's a medical building.
So it's kind of like an entrance place with like a counter, and then some like stairs. And I think there's probably like
you said the little girl like jumped on David. Like I was assuming that she was like jumping down from rafters of a warehouse. So like how did like where was she?
Ceiling tile. So she like pulled up one of the ceiling tiles and like dropped down.
Right.
Actually, she can fly.
It makes
or
sense.
So you think.
Yeah.
No. So we get this scene then. So she like comes down the stairs, and she's got like some like medical supplies, you could say, or like some like metal parts and that kind of a thing. And she like comes down and she like puts them into like a bag that one of the soldiers is carrying, and she's like, well, who do we have here? To you guys.
I mean,
that's like
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I basically just say, just scavengers, ma'am, just passing through. We don't want any trouble, as I said before.
So the non-violent kind of scavengers. Very good.
Yes, definitely non-violent.
And I think she kind of narrows her eyes and like adjusts her spectacles.
Right, but that's like mainly for David and Jared, right? I'm just like,
right. Yeah, but she still kind of goes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I got rapport. I can say anything and get away with it.
Yeah. So she kind of looks at the other soldiers and is like, well, if they're just honest scavengers, there's really no need to start a fight, is there? And I think the other soldiers are like, ma'am, what exactly do you mean? And she's like, well, as long as they put down their weapons, we can put down ours, right? And then I think something happens where I don't know who in the room is expecting it. I don't know if Jared, if you're expecting it or not, you can decide. But a giant dog tackles one of the guys to the ground, and I think everybody kind of takes the moment to we have this like classic everybody disarms the person next to them scene where
everyone just starts going flipping each other, and
so maybe Jared grabs out his shield and like rams some guy against the wall, or and Caleb like grabs a rifle and punches him, or something like that. And I'm sure Josh has like a taser or something like that, right? And he like tases somebody and grabs their weapon. And I think we just get like a total switcheroo where everybody who was holding a gun is now not holding a gun on the ground or something like that. And I think...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'd say I like the idea that Josh is like that character in shows where every time he's in a scene, he has a different food he's eating, except this time it's like a different kind of semi-dangerous implement.
Yeah.
He takes like computer wires.
Yeah, I'm just holding up part of a power supply I was in the middle of extracting from the terminal at the entrance or something.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, you can garrote someone with the power supply.
They're going to just wrap it around.
You can use it as a morning star.
That's awesome.
Maybe less destructively, just restrain their hands.
And so I think like there are like some gunshots that do go off, but like nobody gets hurt or anything like that. And I think total switcheroo. And I think like the woman just kind of looks around, and she just kind of has her hands up, right? And she just kind of looks around, or honestly, she probably ducks down, and then she like looks around, and then just kind of like slowly stands up, and it's just like, okay, maybe a little bit more violent than I thought.
So what's up with his dog that jumped in? Like, is this a dog we recognize?
Jared's dog, isn't it?
Is it Jared's dog?
Yeah, this is something you guys recognize. This is Jared's dog. That is a physiological
dog?
anomaly where this dog has been affected by the radioactive poisoning, and they are still in control of their psyche. Like, so basically, the radioactive poisoning kind of acts like rabies in the sense that the animal just goes nuts, right? And so there's a specific dog that's only kind of rabid, right? Only kind of. He has some fits, but for the most part, he's tame by Jared. So Jared, I'm assuming you kind of like call off your dog before he like eats the guy's face.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm like, oh, this is a good little boy.
Yeah, so he like comes over and as you pet him, Jared, like his what you've learned is like his purring is just growling.
Mm-hmm.
Like his sign of affection of like, oh, I really enjoy this is when he's like so you like pet him and say good boy, and everybody else in the room thinks that he's ready to kill you too. It's really scary. So that's then how do you guys like handle it? Because the girl just says that, right? Like she's like, okay, maybe more violent than I thought.
And that's kind of a necessity in the world we live in now.
Yeah.
We don't often take kindly to people pointing guns at our heads. Can I ask? I totally forgot what I was about to ask. I had a whole deal, and then it didn't make sense, and then I had to rethink, and now I'm not actually sure what I want to ask.
I assumed that you meant to ask why they drew on us out of nowhere. I actually thought that was how you meant to say it.
Yeah, we'll go with that, because, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think she says, we're just being careful, just like everybody else should be.
Right, and we're also just being careful so everyone can just forgive each other, right?
And I think
in the future, being careful doesn't typically involve agitating people you just met to the point where they might kill you.
I think she says, or Helen, right? She says, that's fair, and I think she kind of gives a pointed look to like the guy she was talking to earlier, like, you know, it's like apologize that you pulled a gun on him, and
so real quick, I have a brief thought, Connor, just to make what just happened like have an actual like fate mechanical thing.
Sure.
Do you want to like compel Jared with his aspect Floofy Boy?
Oh, does he have an aspect
happen?
that legitimately says Floofy Boy?
Because that's his extra, right? One of your extras.
Oh yeah.
Because that's an aspect, and that makes sense because that you can make story compels. You can just be like, well, I think that Floofy Boy would just jump in.
Oh, okay.
Right, and do this.
And is that a fate mechanic where I give him a fate point for that?
You give him a fate point. Yeah, exactly. Right, you're compelling him.
Well, would you compel him to do something that benefits him though? I mean, you're giving him a fate point for a thing that is helping him. I would almost think it'd be the opposite. He would invoke it to make a narrative statement, right? Where he's like,
yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, though. I mean, Connor, like, nothing bad or good has actually happened yet at all.
No, really. This is all just flavor text. The next thing I was going to have you do is make a rapport roll since you were saying that.
Yeah, and I was just kind of saying, like, I think the idea here, right, is, and probably in the future with these sorts of things, probably makes more sense to just do them as compels.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then it instigates the mechanics of the game. And then you can do fun things like that at any point, right? You can, at any point, your job as a GM is to basically say compel story or character, compel like something should happen because of this aspect. But I mean, I think if you wanted to, right, you could compel Jared with that, and obviously he's going to accept because it already happened. And then basically say that now my role is more difficult because that tense thing just went down. Right?
Okay, sure. I like this. All right, we're fixing things as we go. Yeah, Yeah, so Jared, are you down for that? Are you accepting this fate point that has been bestowed upon you to make Caleb's life harder?
Retell the entire
We want to not.
No, I'm kidding. I'll take
this. We want to lose.
Classic Jared move.
I need the fate points.
Sure you do. Because that means you'd have to pay him a fate point if you refuse. So, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I obviously say something. I'm just trying to think of what it would be exactly. Well, so we were just saying, like, we don't really like
trying to get anything out of these people. Like, we were just trying to loot some stuff and leave, right? Like,
yeah, and that's ultimately what I just want us to be able to do.
I feel like now they're not in much of a position to refuse, right?
Well, yeah. So I guess if you're trying to, if their rapport roll is let's be friends.
Yeah, I guess the point is I don't want them to think badly of us, right? Okay. I want them to basically be like,
oh yeah,
we'll give you your weapon. Yeah, we'll give you your weapons back, and you won't hurt us at all, and we'll just continue on our way. Like it was a gut instinct. Don't worry about it, sort of thing.
Quite literally animal instinct.
How do I roll to hinder?
What?
I want to give them the guns back.
I mean, yeah, they're not rolling in response, so.
Can I create an advantage for them? Is that how that works? But that doesn't make sense.
I mean, you would just like, I don't know, you'd compel me or compel yourself or something. I don't know. Compel them.
But that wouldn't. What would that do?
That's the only. I'm just saying those are the only things that come to mind as if you want to like make the situation not happen. Because you can't just like hinder my roll exactly.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. Like I could, if there was something happening, unless you were an advantage that he could use, but I don't know if that works that way.
Technically true, I guess. I mean, I think if you wanted to like directly oppose my roll, I think you probably just roll like a versus overcome against me, and you would roll like a provoke or something to like goad them into not.
And, like I don't actually want to like not. I just want to not give them their guns is all. So that's why I was, maybe I'm making a rapport roll against you then. I don't know.
I mean, you could say that. Like if I start to explain, like, listen, we'll give you your guns back. Everything will be fine. We'll be friends. And we can both walk out of this room totally fine.
How about we hold on to their firing pins?
And I say, David, listen, we're trying to be friends here. We've got to trust one another, right, Helen?
I think Josh at that comment, Josh pauses halfway through. He's got like 2 rifles at his feet with bolts pulled out already.
Right. Yeah. I go.
Helen says, "Absolutely, that's my intention here."
Okay, cool. Then we can all agree that the dog was a total accident and move on our way. And then I'm going to make the report roll.
Okay.
What's my difficulty?
I think for Helen, I think Helen is on board, but I think it's for this role is for the soldiers, right? Not the soldiers, but the other survivors. And I think probably a 5.
Yuki. All right. I will go ahead and spend. Oh, I'm on the Roll20 screen. I'll go ahead and spend a fate point on others are needed to rebuild the world. I'm good at talking to people because I need them to rebuild the world and not be violent.
These people are obviously really good at that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Remember, you have 4 fate points for the scene comment.
You wanted to be harder for Caleb for some reason?
Okay, cool. Success.
All right.
You've just conditioned us to not make friends, Connor.
What's that?
I think you've just conditioned us to not make friends. So now that we're finding possibly friendly faces, some of us are wary.
Yeah.
Well, those friendly faces looked a lot like gun barrels when we met them. So I think that's the problem.
Yeah. So I think the survivors are all just like, listen, if you look around this city, you can understand why we are on edge.
I mean, if you look around this city, you can understand why we were on edge. You're the only ones with alive.
And I think they kind of nod and are like, yeah, that's fair. And I think Helen says, well, why don't we come back to our base? And she kind of like looks around at all the other survivors like, this is okay, right? We can do this. And she says, if you guys truly are friendly, why don't we trade some stories, trade some goods, have a feast, enjoy each other's company?
So normally I would be like totally about this, but I'm just like in my brain, I'm like, listen, you do not want us there. So I just kind of start like, I don't know if anyone says anything first, but I'm just like, I'd make a face like.
Tell me why Caleb is feeling this way. Just because of like what happened last time, and like
mainly just David. Like
the tension between Jared and David, and
David has done nothing but threaten them since they walked in the room. And I just
they did it first. All right.
I realize that, and yeah, it's fine. I just don't want to give him more opportunity to have more reasons to kill people. So.
Sure. I mean, I guess if you didn't have anything immediately to say, I'd be like, well, we came here to salvage things. So unless you have things to salvage that you don't mind us taking, I feel like we'll just stay here.
Yeah. And kind of nod slowly. Yeah, I'm like, no offense, but we have a long way to go.
And I think Connor kind of nods at that, but also he kind of like looks at everybody and is like, I don't know, guys. Maybe along the way we can, well, make some friends.
Yeah, do you remember like what was it, a day ago when we tried to make some friends? Remember how that went?
Yeah, and I'm just like looking at Connor like normally this would be fine, but I really think that this time we should probably move on.
Okay.
Except the GM is telling us that we should go there.
No, I realize that.
No.
Is there a compel that?
And that's the thing, you can compel us.
Here? I'm trying to think of any specific reason to compel.
Yeah, I mean, like,
wouldn't immediately force Caleb to do a 180 because like others are needed to rebuild the world. Seems like a reasonable compel. Except
yeah, I mean,
force you to make a 180 for what you just said.
And it's not even that I don't want to like talk to them and like trade stories here. Like that would be fine. We can have a quick conversation. I just going back to their base just sounds like a bad idea in general. Like that, this just doesn't need to happen. It's just unnecessary. Let's have a brief conversation here. We'll scavenge our supplies and we'll leave. And I'll tow David out by the ear.
Maybe we could do the moral compass my friends need instead, and maybe you feel like you want to try and use this as an opportunity to teach me to not murder everyone we meet.
Like give it opportunities for David to socialize.
This seems like a dangerous time for an object lesson.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's your aspect. You tell me.
I mean, yeah. Anyone who wants to, definitely. If it's Connor or like another character wants to.
Yeah, I'll compel you for that.
Yeah. I mean, if Connor briefly explains that to me,
yeah,
I feel like that would be a thing that would happen because I'm just seeing the situation from a certain point of view, but I'm sure there's another point of view that
Right. I mean, and I want this to feel as freeform as possible. Like, if y'all are just like, yeah, let's just leave. Like,
no, yeah, I know you're not trying to rough this. No worries.
So
even though just a little bit ago you did just say, I think this thing just happens. It just happens.
You know what? Chill, bro.
I mean, to be fair, the thing that just happened was we won, so I'm not really worried about it that much.
I know. Yeah. So. Yeah, if Connor like says a brief word to me, like your point is basically like this would be good for David, sort of a thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's legitimately what he's saying. Not necessarily specific for David, but he's just like, listen, like I think we could use the morale booster of knowing that there are people in this world that don't want to kill us. And he like looks to David, and I think he like subconsciously glances at David, but you like pick up on it. Right, where he's like, we need some healing, and these people are super friendly for no reason, and let's see what happens.
Caleb, you need some chill out time to heal your mental wound, right? Maybe that's another motivation.
I already heal it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think as you guys are kind of saying that, I think Helen also notices that Jared is like very wounded, and I think she says, "Oh, I have antibiotics.
Would that help mechanically?
No.
Darn.
I mean,
I don't think it can help.
Well, I mean,
can it help mechanically?
aspect.
Not. I mean, he could change the aspect again to be like, and the antibiotics healing blank.
You could just treat it as an extra for Helen's character or whatever, which would require a fate point. But
yeah. I mean, there's way you can give him an advantage for it.
And she could always have a stunt to reduce a recovering consequence by one shift box thing. Yeah, that's
I guess that's technically true.
Yeah.
That's typically required when you take it. Because you know that specific thing works, but it doesn't matter.
If there is some sort of mechanical thing that you can do with the consequence, I'm all for that.
Let me look real quick at like this list of fate core stunts that I have from the internet and just double check if there's like
Give her a stunt that when she has like proper medical.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here
she gets a +2 or something.
There is a stunt for empathy that comes up first that says once per session you can reduce someone else's consequence by 1 level of severity by succeeding on an empathy roll with a difficulty of fair +2. Yeah. That gives you different. Yeah. So you can reduce it.
Really? Or like for the session.
It says normally this roll would only start the recovery process instead of changing the consequence level. And it looks like there are. I mean, it makes sense that there would be a reversion that's for.
Yeah, that's also only because you're literally only talking to them, not actually medically doing anything for them. So I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it would be up to you, Connor.
Yeah.
It seems like there's precedence for a type of stunt like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, no, I'll give you the carrot. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I love carrots.
Yeah, help your eyesight too. It's like it's good stuff. So, sure.
Make up for all that chocolate we just ate.
Yeah, that's right. You guys got to eat your vegetables. So yeah, I think we can do that. But that's contingent upon you guys going on their base, obviously.
I looked at him like, I would like to not be dying anymore.
Yeah, and
although this could go catastrophically wrong, and everything that Connor wants to come of this could go the exact opposite way. But we can handle that.
Yeah, and I'm just looking around at everybody. I'm like, what my friends I think are trying to say is, sure, we'd love to trade stories.
I think Helen is frowning more now. I think she's just kind of like,
yeah.
Did you describe Helen? Did I just miss that?
She got long brown hair and spectacles.
What's she wearing? What kind of like? Still like just Survivor clothing?
Yeah, I mean pants and a shirt, like
normal kind of dirty,
sweater,
Survivor. Yeah,
that's good. We got all the bases covered. It's a good start.
She is wearing pants.
Yeah. Yep.
Good to know.
So okay, if that's the scene, then so we'll have then kind of like lead you through the city.
Well, first, I mean, I'm trying to remember what we actually had done last session. Did we actually get our scavenge supplies like on a character
I
sheet
think
or something?
so.
We did.
Did Josh put it on? Did you have it on? Oh, you do have it on your sheet. Yeah, I think I might have put it on there actually, but it is on your sheet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the situation aspects. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys have stuff. She has stuff, and they kind of lead you to the city to try to go back to base. But as you guys are going, like I think you guys kind of meet some people, and I think there's a guy named Glenn who comes up to probably David, and I think he just kind of like reaches out a hand, right, and is like, hi, I'm Glenn. And he's kind of like a balding man. He looks kind of he's not a big. He doesn't have a big build. He's kind of smaller. He doesn't look like frail, but he's kind of smaller build and look kind of nerdy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think his left hand naturally rests on like his gun where it's at his hip, not like aggressively, but it just sits there like it's comfortable. And then he'll hold his hand out and be like, David, shake it.
And he says, so what brings you guys by the city?
this guy mostly. I point at Jared.
Is he bleeding and stuff?
Yeah, it's a long story, but he needs some better medical supplies than what we've got.
So I think he says like, so what's your story? I mean, how have you been holding up, I guess?
I mean, probably about as well as everyone else.
So pretty bad, huh? And
Yeah.
he kind of smiles, like you can tell, like these people are like super friendly. Like, they really are seeing the best in people.
Like you should see the other guy though. He's an awkward attempt to be funny because he's not used to trying this anymore.
I think you can tell he like forces a laugh. But it's not like mocking. It's like
it's not very funny, but okay.
But yeah, it's he's trying to be really nice.
Right. Yeah. It's pity laughing.
Yeah. And he says, you guys have any plans to settle down, or are you guys just kind of wandering?
We're going to what city is it?
You guys are going to.
We're trying to get to the
Salt Lake City, right?
Thing, but
and then
that's where we're going next. Yeah,
we're in Cheyenne right now.
Right, but we're going to Salt
You're
Lake.
in Cheyenne, but you're going to.
We're going through Salt Lake, and we're going to go north from there.
We're going through Cheyenne to Salt Lake, and then north from Salt Lake to somewhere else. Is that right?
Yes,
yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm yeah, you're right. I don't remember what the actual city is.
Yeah, I have it saved in Google Maps.
Sure, it doesn't matter. Yes, it's like, well, we're heading towards Salt Lake, and then we're going to go north to insert city name.
Somewhere in Idaho.
Yeah, I think it's
looks
somewhere
like
in Idaho.
Hey, that's where I live.
That's right. So he just kind of says,
honestly, we're going to be like 3 or 4 hexes away from where I live. So.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Does that mean you're 3 or 4 hexes away from nuclear bombs?
Yeah, I guess so.
Nice.
It's actually, so it's in Montana, actually.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm also close to Montana, so.
Great Falls is the city.
Gray Falls?
Great
Falls.
Okay.
That's not a foreshadowing name at all.
The great will fall.
So I think he kind of says,
we should go there last.
Yeah. Glenn is just kind of like, what for?
I don't really know if we're talking about that.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, he says,
like that's above my pay grade. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Like that's above my pay grade. I don't know if I can talk about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. He says like, oh, so like super secret mission, huh? And he like gives you like an elbow bump.
Something like that.
And
I just look weird in my elbow. Like, why would you do that?
So I think you two kind of have like that kind of an awkward conversation, right?
I mean, I think I might ask him what happened.
Oh, sure.
So yeah. In an effort to make conversations like, so how'd you guys end up the only people here who weren't corpses?
He says, well, all of us here, I mean, we were from the surrounding countryside. And when, the whole nuclear apocalypse thing happened, we kind of joined together and we just wanted to wait out the violence that was happening in the city. We knew if we wanted to rebuild and really make the most of the situation we were in, we'd have to kind of wait until the killers killed each other, we tried, we sent people into the city to kind of see what was up. And every time we did, it was just gang wars and just horrible people doing horrible things. And so
right.
we just kind of waited it out until the most of the resources were in the city. And so we came to pick up where they left off.
In my experience, the side usually wins. No one was here waiting for you when you showed up.
He kind of says, yeah, there is still some guys, but they're on the other side of the city. And from the beginning, we've just kind of kept to our own place and they've kind of kept to their own place.
Interesting.
He says, "Yeah, I know, right?"
It's not typical behavior. I assume you guys are taking precautions. I mean, they did win the war against everyone else in the city. I imagine eventually they'll eat off their food and come for yours. How it goes.
Yeah, but in all reality, I mean, we're kind of just not worrying about it as much anymore. I mean, we're just hoping that things will just work out.
Yeah, well, they say it's the shot you don't hear, but hope that works out for you.
He says, "Don't be such a downer."
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the world's irradiated or anything. He just gives him a half smile, like that was a joke, but it's also true.
Yeah, and he says, "Well, yeah, we know the world is irradiated, and I mean, actually, we're kind of." And I think Helen kind of looks at him and is like, "Glenn,
fixing it, kind of fixing it. Is that what they were gonna say?"
He was saying kind of okay with it.
This seems too good to be true. We should kill them all.
Right.
Caleb, I compel you with David's aspects.
You got me, David.
Open fire. No, so I think then Helen comes over to you, Jared, and is like, "So what's up with the super cool dog? Why is it huge and scary?"
He's a little irradiated monster, yes he is.
Not rabid.
Wait, you say that?
Yeah.
I think she kind of looks at you like, "No. He's radiated? He has the radiation sickness?"
Yeah.
I think and then she stops and is like, "May I?" to the dog.
Yes. I hope he doesn't bite you.
I don't mean to interrupt. That's not a thing you could spread through, I don't know, say tackling and biting somebody, is it? Just out of curiosity.
So through Jared's experience, for whatever reason, because the radiation hasn't affected him in the same way, he's also not contagious in the same way. And just from what Jared has noticed, because otherwise Jared would be infected too.
Right. Okay, because cool. I just wanted to check and make sure we didn't just get somebody infected.
Right. No. Yeah.
All right.
Because definitely through the taming process, Jared's been bit a few times. Right. Because this dog is, he's gotta.
Right. Yeah.
So
okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah. So I think I honestly though, she probably asks is he contagious?
Probably not. I mean, I'm not, a biologist, but I've been bitten a few times.
And she says, "Well, I have a doctorate in biology and biology, medicine, and what's the other thing?
Chemistry.
Not chemistry. Oh no, it's chemistry, not medicine. Biology. What would be the degree for space, like a rocket?"
That could be multiple things.
It's a rocket scientist, Connor.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Physics is probably the majority, but you'd see someone doing. I don't have first-hand experience with the field. I don't know for sure. But I would
aerospace engineering.
Otherwise, yeah, if you're not going for doctorate level, then it would be aerospace engineering.
Okay, yeah. So
one doesn't typically get a doctorate in that, though. I don't think.
Yeah,
it's typically more of an engineering.
It's degree. A bachelor's. Yeah.
Okay, so I think she says that says I have a doctorate in chemistry, biology, and bachelor's in what was it?
Aerospace engineering.
Aerospace engineering. She looks to be in her probably early 40s.
Gotcha.
So you know what? Actually, she's probably a little bit younger than that. I think she's probably mid-30s. And so, yeah, so she's like, I am, and if you say you've been around this thing, I mean, has it bitten you, or she?
He used to not be very nice, but now he's very nice.
And everything is okay with you? I mean, you're not like dead?
Well, I'm in the process of dying, and I look down at my like bloody shirt.
Yeah, I think she's just like, so I can touch him, right?
Yeah.
So she like looks all over, and like she like asks you to like open up his jaw so she can like look inside and everything like that. Like this is a specimen to her, and she's like looking all over. And I think at one point she's like, when we get back to base, can I get some blood samples?
I don't see why not.
And she's like, you might have to reassure him that I'm not killing him.
I make no promises, but I will do my best.
So she kind of laughs nervously at that, but she's like so excited to have found this creature. So I think then Caleb, I think you have a completely different conversation. You have a conversation. This guy named let's go classic. His name is Brad. He comes over to you, and he's the guy that originally was like, Helen, you can come downstairs. And he's like a bigger dude, and he's got like a full beard. And he comes over to you, and it's like, hey, what's kind of the deal with your friends? You seem to not trust them, really. Is there something I need to be worried about?
He
seems
how
on
I
edge.
mend this, yeah. Mm-hmm.
From just the general like pulse of the rest of the group, like there are some people like Glenn who are like super happy and excited, and I think you can tell like that's why you guys are getting invited to base, because they're like new people. Socialization. We get to talk with people, share stories, and I wonder if they have something we don't have. But then like there are some people, and it's not the majority, that are kind of like this guy, that are kind of looking around like, why are we trusting these people?
So I need to figure out a way to, like, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on an act. Right? I'm either going to act like nothing is wrong whatsoever and just be like, you're definitely seeing things. Or I'm going to be
gaslight the poor man.
I'm either going to gaslight him. So it's either, I'm either going to gaslight him, or I'm thinking of doing something like, I either want to pretend it never happened, or I want to pretend it was intentional, but not what he thought it was.
How's your deceive skill? Because that all sounds like deception.
Not very good.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It's at 0.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do that, you can
points,
try.
though.
I think that, and that'd be against his will, right?
Can I do something first? Can I do an empathy check on him to get a read on him? Like, or I kind of just like listen.
Yeah. Why don't you do a crit advantage? Because I basically told you how he's acting. Yeah. It's not like a secret here.
So I've been watching him then.
Okay. Oh, and obviously you guys went back to the bus and like grabbed everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure. I'm sure somebody's like driving the bus alongside you guys, and you're going together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, since they would probably not try and let the bus out of our sight too much if no one's on it.
Yeah. I got a 4. I don't know what the difficulty was. I probably should have asked first.
Well, I was gonna have him. Or I guess if it's created advantage, he's not gonna roll against his will.
You could, I mean, or you can just set the difficulty.
All right, I'll have him roll will. 4FD, right?
4DF, yeah.
4DF, okay.
So it's 4 dice of fate, or fudge, as they're originally called. Yeah, that's right. Succeed with style. Okay, so Connor, when I successfully use empathy to read a person's emotional state, if that person's aspects are secret, the aspects the GM reveals must be those that are of the utmost importance to the person, unless you explicitly instruct them otherwise.
Jeez. Okay.
Better supposed to this random guy.
if the person's aspects are not secret, you may choose which one to attach each of your free invocations to. But I assume, I don't know his aspects, so in theory, they are secret to me.
Yeah,
right?
so
I'm
I
trying to
can't
learn
really
them.
think of something that's like super secret about him, I guess. But
And again, I think what the stunt is really saying is, if I don't know his aspects, you reveal to me the most important one. If I do know his aspects, like if we're aware of them, then I get to choose which one I put the invokes on, is the idea.
Okay, yeah. So I think he's paranoid. I'll just write them down in here.
Is that like part of a high concept where he's like paranoid blank?
No, probably his trouble.
Got it.
High concept is
You don't have to reveal the high.
Yeah, I was
concept
gonna
if
say,
you want
Hill gets to know one of his aspects, not all of them, with this role.
Oh, sure. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's go. He's paranoid.
to. Is it literally just paranoid? Right. Any
Yeah.
other adjectives on that? Okay.
No, I think he's
I want to know like how paranoid.
okay. All right. Let me
He's paranoid.
Well, he said your stunt said that the thing that is most important to him is the one he learned, and he gave you paranoid. I think that probably tells you how.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, paranoia is his life. Okay.
Assuming that was your intention. Got it. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you.
Oh no, yeah, I don't really know. I was thinking Caleb just wanted like something more to go off of his character. It's like paranoid in what way, but
Right.
Yeah. Just because usually aspects are more than one word, but if it's just paranoid, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything else that needed to be added.
That's
to
the
it.
aspect. Just paranoid.
Just paranoid. Literally
Paranoia,
paranoid.
a class feature.
Yeah.
I think let's go paranoid realist.
There you go.
Let's say that. Maybe that'll help you get more of a
Okay,
feel for the character,
so-
because he isn't like grade A like weirdo paranoid.
Yeah, grade
It's
A
not
like
me.
Yeah. He's not you, David.
commies are in the closet sort of thing,
Yeah.
out to get me. So yeah, commies around every corner, rather.
Hope we just didn't offend all of our commie listeners.
Because that wouldn't offend them if they were defending already.
Yeah. So paranoid realist, because what I'm trying to think through here is like I want to manipulate that somehow, right? But I just don't. I have 2 free invokes on it, so if I should try to deceive him, I could probably get away with
You
it.
could just tell him he's being paranoid and that he's seeing things where, this is the new normal. He's just seeing things where they're not, something like
I mean,
that.
I figured that's
Yeah.
what you would be going off of, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is like
That's still a lie, but
Right? Yeah.
you still be
I guess.
deceive, but
I guess the other thought I had, right, was like try to frame it in such a way where I'm like, oh no, that's just a thing we do with new people just to make sure that they're properly intimidated by us. Because I'm like, they're dogs on a leash and I can let them go at any time. But now that we're friends, like we can drop the act, like it's fine.
so
From
your
the empathy
original
roll-
instinct was right, but
Exactly.
We're not
But
acting like that.
we were just pretending.
yeah, but now
Right.
we're on your side, so it's fine. But that's still a lie. though.
Exactly. No, it is still a lie. I
Okay,
just
okay, yeah,
it just sounds like something like more of what I would do, because I wouldn't like try to say this didn't happen,
right.
because it obviously did. I'm the kind of character to make it more dramatic than it actually is, but somehow I'm better at making you believe it, right? Right. Where the simple answer would be, you're just being paranoid. That's what a normal character would say, but my character is going to be like, oh, you definitely did. And it's actually this like pre-planned intimidation tactic that we do every time. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that I would say. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I just say, oh, that. Sorry. It's just a thing we do. I act like I'm, the dog trainer, and their dog's barely still on the leash, and we could let them go at any time and they would just murder all of you. Intimidation tactic. We don't need it anymore. We're friends now. We're good. So don't worry about it.
And you succeeded, right?
Can't be too careful. Well, that was
Or no, you
I
haven't rolled
succeeded on the empathy roll.
deceive, right? Yeah.
And now I'll roll the deceive, but I have the 2 free invokes if I
Yeah.
need them. So what's the difficulty?
I
Is he rolling an opposed
think.
empathy?
Yeah, I think. I'll just have him roll again. So even worse than before.
Perfect. Well, I'll just use my 1 free invoke and
Yeah.
still have a free invoke on there.
So I think he's just like, okay, all right, and he's not like all buddy with you now, but he's not I don't think he continues the conversation. He just kind of walks over and is kind of like, okay, and it's just kind of like instead of looking at you guys, he's more like looking at the other buildings now and like making sure there's nobody that are no dangers around. But he's not like, so what's your story? He's doing his own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like as soon as like I'm just like kind of like chuckling to myself about the whole thing until he turns away, and then immediately I'm just like deadpan, like, and then I just like look over at David like.
So I think Josh, does this Helen person like intrigue you at all? Like is the fact that she's like said that she has a bachelor's in what was it, aerospace engineering, is that like curious to you at all? Or
I mean, there's all sorts of people caught in the apocalypse. Of course it makes sense that I'd be interested. We're literally chasing down ICBMs. Like, I don't really aerospace. Like, that's not my I could aerospace to some degree, but I don't know.
Okay,
I'd be interested to. I think I'm just gonna kind of watch for now her interaction, Jared and the dog, unless somebody else explicitly approaches me.
Okay. So you're just like curious and like just observing the situation. You don't like go introduce yourself.
No, I don't think I'm going to quite yet. I think I'd like to make an empathy roll, see if I can find out one of her aspects.
Oh, sure. Yeah. By all means.
And what is the difficulty on that?
I'll just, this isn't really opposing. I'll just say 2, because she's talking, she's doing her thing.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay, well, I would need to spend 2 fate points to get a success, right?
Yeah.
What are the consequences for failure to determine someone's aspect?
I mean, I think it's just whatever the GM decides, right? I mean, there doesn't have to be consequences, but Gib, you're muted.
Sorry. I was just going to say it's creating an advantage, so I'll just check real quick. It should say here.
Pretty sure it's just the advantage gets created with somebody. Well, I mean, you're trying to find out
what is he trying to do? He's trying to find out an aspect.
So she would probably get a boost.
You either don't create the aspect or you create it, but someone else gets the free invoke.
Right, but he's not creating one at all, right? I guess maybe she gets a free invoke on one of hers.
On one of hers. Yeah, that is a thing that could happen. Yeah.
So you'd find it out, but she'd get a free invoke on it, tease against see if she wanted. Or you could just decide he doesn't get it. I guess it's fine.
Yeah,
because otherwise you just always be able to learn their aspects.
Okay, so I think you get you under is reveal the aspect. I'm as smart as they come. Oh, I almost just wrote smart. Okay, I almost just wrote I'm as they come. So I'm smart as they come. Yeah. So and she gets free invoke on that against you. So pretty soon here, I mean, she could free invoke and one up you on something in terms of knowledge. That could be really demoralizing. No, so anyway.
I'm pretty sure she can invoke it generally. I don't think it has to be against him. Against us. Or actually, just in general, I guess.
Yeah,
really.
It just has to make smart narratively.
Yeah. Okay, so from here, I think you guys kind of make it back to base, and it's kind of like a bunker. And I think you're not quite sure if this building existed already, or if they kind of built it, or if they kind of took an existing building and like redid it. But it's basically like a bunker. Like it's got like some part of the building that's like seeable from like the surface level, and it just kind of looks like a little dome. But as you kind of go in, you like go down some stairs, and it's a pretty substantial base. And like it's around a couple of like tall buildings and like skyscrapers, that kind of, not necessarily skyscrapers, but like it's around some tall buildings and whatnot. But so yeah, so you kind of go in, and there's and they like pass some people, right, where like they're keeping guard or whatever. But you kind of go in, and there's a few dozen people, and there are some kids. I think what's her name? The little girl that had jumped on David. I think she kind of like you'd expect her to like tuck base with the other kids, but instead I think she kind of sits down with a couple of the other adults and like tries to take a drink from like their alcoholic beverage, and like it's like, hey, you can't touch that or whatever, and she like goes or whatever. So I think David, you probably just notice this as you're kind of walking through, and I think. Oh, go ahead if you're going to say something.
I mean, is it within close enough that I can say something?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I chuckle, and I'm like, pretty sure there aren't any laws about that anymore.
And I think the girl kind of like goes like perks up an eyebrow at you and is like, huh. And I think she turns back to them and is like, ha. And she like grabs the drink from his hand and like takes a big swig. And then nice. I'm assuming you just kind of like walk by.
Yeah, he probably laughs. But
okay, yeah. But do you like hang out, or you just like move on, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're going somewhere, right? So I'll keep walking wherever anyone else is going.
Okay, all right. I just checked. Yep. Okay, so I think most everybody kind of splits off except for Brad and Glenn stick around with Helen, and Helen kind of leads you into another room, and he's like, "Father," and we see like a gray-haired old man. Also has like spectacles, and I think Helen's spectacles like look in pretty good shape, and I think this guy's spectacles are kind of like they look wonky. Like one lens is different, or like one frame is different than the other frame, and like the lens are like different colors. It just looks wonky. Like Helen clearly got the better spectacles than this guy did, and he's kind of like, oh, Helen, welcome back. And I think he's like working with some like liquids and some vials, like some total nerd. And I think you kind of get the feeling that like everybody here is like doing something and producing something. I think there are like some people who are doing some like blacksmithing and different things like that, where you feel like this doesn't seem like these people are in an apocalypse. It seems like everybody's at work and they're all just kind of hanging out. So it's kind of a weird feeling. But Helen just kind of says, hey, so we're going to give some antibiotics to this man here. We found some, I don't want to call you guys scavengers, but I guess now we kind of found some new friends. So if as they're passing through, we're going to have some trade, and I don't know, we figured we'd have a bit of a celebration tonight and share some stories. And he gets really excited at that. He's like, oh, wonderful. And he like goes to each of you and is like, hello.
Why are you making these NPCs so nice? It makes me not trust them.
I think he says his name is obviously Clarence, right? He says I'm Clarence. You can just call me Clarence. I used to be a professor. Oh, jeez, give me an obnoxious Hilderheim. I used to be Professor Hilderheim, but now that the apocalypse has happened, my degree has been stripped of me. I think he like leans over to like he's shaking one of your guys' hands and like leans over to so he's like shaking Jared's hand and he leans over to Caleb and he says, not that I don't have the degree anymore, but the paper part of the degree that kind of burned up with the news. and he like shakes all your hands and is like, welcome. Do tell what brings you to the city.
Well, we are just passing through on our way up north, going through Salt Lake first, and we thought we'd trade information and trade supplies if we need them. Or your friend here has graciously offered some antibiotics to my friend. And
oh, she's not my friend. She's my daughter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Should have seen that one coming.
Did you say that?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean you saw that coming?
That's the sort of thing the characters say in these sorts of situations.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So shoot, I lost my train of thought. Why don't we take a break here and we'll come back and I'll get my thoughts in order.
Sounds good. I mean, it seems like a good time to take a break anyway.
Okay, yeah. So you're introducing to yourselves to everybody.
Cool. Awesome. Stick around. We got more Orphans in the American Dream right after this.